Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Black, can you hear me this week?
Yep.
Thank God. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is another Tech Golf podcast. Glad you could join us today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Thursday, June the 8th. Holy shit. Slow the fuck down. I still have to, hit up a treadmill or something before I go to the Philippines. I don't have much time.
When are you heading there?
End of July.
Oh, okay.
End of July, we hit the road. I've been, piecing together... There we go. I've been piecing together, all of the, accoutrement. Things required before the travel. Like clothes, for example, that will work in the climate that I am going to, and not the one that I'm currently in. So lots of, linen, everything, linen. If I could buy linen underwear fast enough, I'd be buying linen fucking underwear. But we gotta live with, this, and it's not even, linen, because, if you get proper linen, your ass is paying huge amounts of money. No, I ain't that H&M model linen type shit. I'm the blended linen from Amazon type shit. But we got some shirts, we got some shorts. I'm still trying to get shorts to work. The problem is, Mr. Black, right now, men's fashion. I'm not gonna say that we're currently reliving the 80s, because we're not reliving the 80s. The shorts aren't that short. We haven't hit Larry Bird and Magic Johnson short yet. But we are still relatively short. Men's shorts are a 9-inch inseam right now is the fashionable inseam, which means it comes just down to the base of my right testicle. Not a lot of room to work for me in a 9-inch inseam short. I'm too fucking tall, my legs are too long. And so whenever I buy shorts, I put these bad boys on, I look like I'm wearing boxers, and if I sit down, I'm giving you a show. And it's not a great show. I'm gonna be honest. Nobody's paying money to see that show. They don't even know if they'd show up for free. So I've been hunting for the shorts, sending them back and forth, trying to order some more. I'm not about I gave up on going to shops a long fucking time ago. That shit ain't worked in my entire life. So we're in the midst of that. We're gonna hope that round 2 does a bit better. Bought some sandals, of course. Not gonna wear shoes when you're there. That's a waste of everyone's time. Just be in some sandals, which of course also pain in the ass for me to find. But I did find a decent pair. $79, the cheapest fucking thing I bought for clothes in a long time. Problem was, despite fitting my foot, my wide ass paddle, the strap that goes around the back of your heel, it's obviously prepared for the foot of Andre the Giant. The amount of space, even at maximum tension on that motherfucker, there's still enough room for a football field in the back. My foot is filling out every other part of the sandal, but then you get to the back part, and it's like somebody thinks you have elephantitis of the fucking foot, but specifically the ankle and heel. It's a huge gap, and it doesn't fall off my foot, but it looks ridiculous. I look like I'm wearing my father's sandals as a child. And so my only other hope, I was so happy with this $79 pair of sandals, because I ain't got no fucking money right now. I'm struggle busting out here. But I went on, the only other sandals I could find that were wide and 15 were, of course, Birkenstocks, which were not $79. But when you're desperate, you're desperate. So we ordered some Birkenstocks, and we're going to hope that one fits a little bit better, and then I should be good to go. I'm going to be probably changing shirts every 4 to 5 minutes while I'm there anyway. So we'll just roll the punches and see what happens. But yeah, it's the end of July. We head out, and between now and then, it's just getting everything ready. Getting prepared and buckling up and hoping that we get some decent weather both to fly out of here and to land there. We're not in the typhoon season there or anything like that, but it's the Philippines, you never know. You could show up one day and it's clear, the next day it's fucking Hurricane Katrina, which is like a casual Tuesday in the Philippines. And so we'll hope for the best. But either way, before we hop into some video game stuff, a much more important question of the week is, Mr. Black, how's your week?
It was just another week. My mic arm broke, so I had to grab this one from the vocal booth and that's why I've got this.
You've got the pop filter and suspension in there now. It's one that's different.
Well, yeah, this was the one that was in my vocal booth because the other one is all kinds of fucked. It's like
did you ever get that wire back on after it popped off?
Bruh.
Oh well, yeah, no, it can be fixed. I had the same one.
It's nightmare, bro.
This is
a 2-hour Rubik's Cube. All right.
I was literally about to say I'd rather solve a Rubik's Cube than put that fucking thing back together again.
I'm not. I'm gonna go and order another one of these guards.
Yeah.
And this is getting retired. It's just that simple. Because this is so much and this is so much easier. I just can clamp and then the mic comes out and goes in. It's
boom.
just I don't know why I didn't do
tension, no tension arm or anything, just bada bing, bada boom. Especially for that, because it's probably made to fit a few mics, but I suspect they probably made it like with the TLM 103 style body in mind. I've got the boom mic, the shotgun mic, and I use a Rycoat suspension arm, and that's just you just push the mic into the clips. Done. No fucking doing weird and wacky shit. And,
so
yeah,
that's been my thing. So if there's this big ass device here in front of my face that you're not used to, well, it's just the way it is for now. And yeah, that's been the highlight of my week, essentially.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's a solid week right there.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I remember when I was trying all the different microphones out, and I was trying the 103, that's the cradle that comes with the microphone. And I remember it was on rent. I didn't buy the thing. I was renting microphones from Long McQuaid while I was trying to figure out what mic was going to sound best, for my voice. And it had that nest.
Yeah,
and fucking by God, as I was putting it together, that one came off. And as soon as one came off, it was like fucking shit was just flying all over the place. I tried my best to put it back together before I took it back.
Yeah,
that shit looked terrible when I returned it. But fuck them. Replace that shit with something else. I got a good show lined up for you guys, as always, out there. Not a lot of individual game news, but there's been some interesting stuff regardless that has cropped up this week, so we'll do our best to go over those things. First up, and kind of, I suppose, indicative, not indicative, but there were probably canaries in the coal mine, so to speak, before this happened. But this is definitely like, once you see this stuff happening at this level of esport, esports in general is rocky waters. The Riot's LCS, specifically the NA LCS, just chalked here in the last couple of weeks, Mr. Black. I don't know if you've seen any of this come across your timeline. I suspect you probably have. But my God, what a 5-alarm fire they got going on over there. I tried to look into it to see if they had yet come to an agreement or not. I couldn't find anything today when I was looking for updates. So the information I have is from 2 or 3 days ago. I haven't seen any new publication stuff go up. Maybe there's some people on Twitter with even more up-to-date information. I haven't seen it. But the whole concept is kind of this. Nobody fucking cares about NA LCS. That's step one. Nope. Nobody fucking cares. The players don't care. The team don't care. The viewers don't care. Riot don't care. Everyone is in a state of apathy and who the fuck, because it's NA LCS. And the whole idea is you watch NA LCS, you see your teams go head to head, and then maybe, one moves on to Worlds and immediately gets fucking decimated day one before they even get out of the opening groups. And you rinse and repeat that cycle, pretty much ad infinitum. And as we've talked about here on the podcast before, when referencing esports in general in North America, because this wouldn't be the first time something like this happened in esports for this region, this is why you see most teams farming out players as streamers and content creators and not necessarily focusing on actually winning anything to any major degree, other than maybe winning the NA level scene. Because it's like everyone has the mindset, we are never going to win as soon as we go across the pond. So fuck it, let's just make all sorts of money by getting sponsorships and whatever we can get and have our guys be streaming on Twitch and YouTube and wherever else the fuck we want to be streaming, and just, that's the show. So it's always been a bit rocky, but in more recent times, really rocky. But more specifically, as it turns out, despite the fact that while the EU and Asia regions, that includes the Chinese region, have been thriving with amateur leagues feeding the top LCS, so almost not, I wouldn't call them farm teams, but they're kind of farm teams. While those scenes have their own, and they've been thriving, doing well. In fact, I want to say it was Europe's scene that has a second tier under the main farm league. So it's like they've got 3 tiers of shit going on. And the Asian scene largely in China had like the one below. NA had the one below. But it's just not been doing well. And it's been costing a lot of people a lot of money to keep it up. And so as such, Riot decided to remove the mandate that required LCS teams to fund an NACL team in addition to their LCS roster in a supposed effort to free up the teams to have more options for how to run their operations, spend their money the way that they want to spend it to try and keep themselves afloat, theoretically keeping the scene able to thrive for longer instead of kind of continuing the nosedive. At least that's what it's supposed to do on paper. Almost immediately after this, the first knock-on effect of that, which anyone probably could have seen coming, but certainly this was pretty substantial. Teams like C9, 100 Thieves, TSM, Immortals, and others axed their NACL development teams just outright. They're just gone. They said, all right, we don't have to keep these up anymore to have our contract be fulfilled. Then we're shutting those bitches down. And so they did. And some of these teams, or at least one, I think, maybe TSM, is just moving regions altogether. So there's all sorts of stuff that came along with this, but those teams immediately shut down those development teams. The LCSPA, which is like the Players Association, was of course a little bit salty, Mr. Black, when this happened. Because, well, that affected a lot of players, a lot of casters, a whole lot of everything that was involved at that tier of the LCS. When they just decide to wholesale, everyone's closing down these operations, thanks to Riot freeing up that mandate. And so they said without doing this with player support, Riot never came to these teams to talk to them about this. They just went ahead and did it. Without that, they said the players simply just gonna peace out. Deuces. You guys can figure your shit out until you want to come to the table and actually work with the LCSPA. So a strike, if you will, in this instance. Now, you might think to yourself, man, that might be difficult to run the summer split without any players. And you'd be right. As it turns out, it's pretty challenging to have a tournament if you're missing a whole bunch of players. So, as that happened, this led to Riot dropping the rank requirements from what they usually had to be able to bring players in, more or less like if this was a strike in real life for like a company, scab workers, if you will, to come in and replace the players that were walked out on the teams after this decision was made. So essentially, you didn't have to hold any or maintain any rank on ladder. You could be Joe Blow and walk in and play in the LCS. So they were all, of course, as soon as this happened, you can imagine memes fucking everywhere about who was going to enter into, like, how many people I saw posting a picture of Tyler 1 waiting for his moment has come. It's time for Tyler 1 to enter the LCS. So they did that. And at the same time, of course, the Players Association went to the collegiate esports scene and whatnot and said, guys, Riot's going to come to you. They're going to be giving you offers. They're going to be saying, look, your time has come. These guys walked out. It's your time to step up. Here's what you can do. You come on in. You get to play at the show. They're warning them ahead of time. They said, don't do that shit. Stand with us. Otherwise, none of this, you might be okay now, but when you leave the collegiate scene, you're fucked. So just hold strong. Let's all stand together on this and force Riot to actually sit down at a table and have a chit chat to figure this shit out. So they did that. And eventually, after all this has gone down, and we're getting down to the wire, and Riot, of course, well, who does Riot have to satisfy when the splits come up, Mr. Black? They got sponsors. They got business partners. There's several dollars to be had in the LCS. A lot of money floating around in that motherfucker. And so they're sitting there going, fuck, we need to come up with something, boys. We can't just go ahead with this. And so they pulled the nuclear option. They went out and said, hey, if you guys aren't going to fucking play, we're shutting this whole bitch down. No summer split. And so you got two sides who are doing the classic, we're doing the standoff, Mr. Black. It's the old-fashioned, old Western standoff. It's high noon, as it were. And everyone's waiting to see who's drawing first. Is it the players? Or is it Riot, who may or may not lose a whole lot more money if they don't get this shit off the ground? With that being said, a small bump in the road here for the Players Association, Mr. Black. Double Lift. We know who Double Lift is. If you know anything about League of Legends, you know who Double Lift is. Relatively large figure in the NA LCS scene. One might think the largest of figures in the LCS for North America. He decided to have a little streamerino, Mr. Black, have a little chit chat about this himself. He wanted to weigh in, he wanted to get his internet clout. Everyone's wondering, it's kind of like, where's Ja Rule? What would Ja Rule think? Except this time it was, where's Double Lift? What does he think? And so Double Lift answered the call. He went on stream and he said, you know what? If push comes to shove, I don't want any of this. I just want to play in the summer split. And the Players Association in the background were going, God! Fuck! Why would you say that? No! No! Why? Because if there was one motherfucker that could open his mouth to just rug pull the whole friggin' Players Association on the dot, it would be Double Lift going on his stream and saying something is stupid, clearly not understanding how strikes work, or he's just wanting to make a whole bunch more money.
I mean, he knows what he's doing. He knows it more intimately than you or I or anybody else. He knows exactly what he's doing.
So he went on there and said, gotcha, bitch. I want to play in the summer split. And there goes my hero. Watch him as he goes. So he's out there doing his thing. I haven't got any more updates. That's kind of where it's at right now. Double Lift just fucking lit a Molotov cocktail and threw that bitch through the window and walked away. And so now we just gotta wait and see. But Mr. Black, that's your whole setup here. We've talked about esports, especially in North America, many times, because we've a little bit closer to that, especially you yourself. We've had lots of opinions on this. But how do you feel about seeing something like this happen for what is arguably the largest esport, likely in North America? It is like them in like Dota. Like prize pool, it's Dota, but I think size-wise, it's probably still League of Legends. So how do you feel about, or what is your take on this, and what do you think is there a solution that these guys can come to, or is this just a natural conclusion to NA esports given the current climate?
Yeah, I think this is just natural selection. I think this is just, you can frame it however you want to frame it. I just think, I mean, it's no secret. There's money in esports, but there's no money in esports. Like, I know that doesn't make any sense, but
there's money for specific people. Is that what you're getting at? Yeah.
Correct. But and it's very specific people. The tippity top. And that's pretty much it. In
NA specifically.
In NA. Yes.
Everywhere else it seems to be okay, but NA spinning tires.
And I don't know, and I don't know exactly all of the reasons why it's like that. I think it might literally just be the fact that there's much more interest in esports on a foreign side opposed to here in North America. That's definitely a big part of it. There seems to be a lot more money as well elsewhere than NA. So
like
I don't know,
like stable money, like in Korea, like full-on telecoms are getting involved and shit like that.
Yes. Now, with that being said, there is money in North America esports, but it's not what people think it is. The vast majority of the players aren't making a very good living. It's basically, I don't want to go as far as saying it's like slave labor. It's not like that, but it's not infinitely past a regular 9 to 5 job pay, like minimal wage, the amount of hours you're putting in, what you're getting out, and it rewards superstars. And it's the reason why the NA scene has never really been all that competitive. Like what Adam said in the beginning, and of course, guys, there are anomalies. There are cases. You know,
there are individual players that actually just ship themselves elsewhere because they're very good.
Correct. So like they'll take their talents and they'll move it to a whole nother league, right? Because in North America, you make your money from your stream, your personality, and your affiliates, like your merch, those sort of things. A lot of the money is not being made via competition. The vast majority of the money is made elsewhere. And it's always been the issue in North America. Thus, a lot of the players prioritize their own personal streams because they're going to make infinitely more money and they'll have longevity as a player personality, so that when shit goes tits up, obviously they're still very talented at video games. They can go and transition to another game or to wherever, another league, another region, whatever the case may be. So they just try and build their stardom as much as possible. If Riot is struggling, it tells you everything you need to know about North America esports. If Riot is struggling or they're having to make these changes, I mean, that's it. It just speaks for itself. I mean, they're the GOAT. Riot is, that's it. LCS NA is like the biggest thing in North American esports that there is. Period. And I don't think anybody's ever going to be any bigger. So if they're having a struggle bus, this isn't Ryan. This isn't Riot trying to, cut a bunch of corners and screw over people. I just think that they're forced to make these changes because it's not profitable. And League of Legends, although it's huge, it's not as big as what it was a few years back. It's not, it's still massive. Don't get me wrong, guys, but it's not this forever.
Venture capital isn't a straight line anymore.
No, it's not. So. Yeah. Anyway, I don't have much else to add about it. It's just the way it is.
And it's kind of like just to add to your point about the streamer or leaning more on their own personal brands and streams and whatnot to generate most of their money because they're not getting paid the salaries and stuff that other leagues or other regions are getting paid. I feel like that's kind of like it's like an Ouroboros. It's the fucking snake eating the snake. It's like it's a self-perpetuating shit show. So like the NA LCS to some degree relies upon at least one of those NA teams doing well outside of the NA region to maintain interest from a large enough fan base to make Riot enough money to help fund NA LCS. And then the individual player level, if they're not getting that money already, they're leaning on the stream stuff. They're not focused on getting better to build a team. And the entire culture becomes get on this team because brand deals and everything else and just take it, get your bag, and then tread water. And maybe you make a run or something where you're like up against a couple of European teams and then just pack it the fuck in. And maybe you have like a little Cinderella story where you get like into round 2. And then and that's it. Like, and it becomes a cultural thing, and then you just it just rinse and repeats itself into the point where it was okay as long as the venture money was coming in, because you could always hype it up. You could always be like, we're bringing in this player from this region and this player
there's
from
always
this
stories
region.
to tell. But now it's like we
don't got the money.
That we got no cash. It is, you got to pick your battle, and individually they're going to pick their battles that work for them more than so the team, and thus hurts their performance, thus hurts, and keeps
the cycle continues.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Good luck to Tyler 1. Godspeed out there on the LCS floor. I'm sure you'll do well. Be great. You know what? We talked about this on my stream when it first started to come out with this information, and I said I got to be honest. some sick part of me kind of just wants it to completely blow up so that we can watch just complete dog water. Just a bunch of people that are like, you know, platinum, diamond, bronze, fucking random scrubs coming in and playing in the NA LCS. So they have the full production team, absolutely everything. Everyone's there. Fucking bring Monty back, pay him money to give a fuck about the league again. Have him come, and they're just casting ass. I would watch the fuck out of that from beginning to end.
Be like leg TV, you know? Be like, you know, just go in there and have fun. And the thing is, 100%. You get a lot of these, you get a bunch of Tyler ones in there, this shit's gonna be entertaining as fuck.
And it'll probably bring on it,
ironically, bring way more people.
Way more
people.
Maybe that's the restart. You do that long enough, you'll actually start to get legitimately good players. We'll just start filtering to the top in the league. So maybe the meme is blow it up, just run an absolute clown fiesta for a few years, still give it the same kind of budget for like the casting and everything else. Everyone knows it's a bit of a meme, but if the money comes, so too does the players. And if you start to get, maybe that's the trick. Clown Fiesta 2024. I'm in. Lock it in, right? You listen? But yeah, we'll wait as new stuff comes up and we see what happens there. Of course, I'll add it to the list and we'll talk about it in the future. Next up, I'll actually front load this and then we'll end with the bigger one, I would say, for this week. So, oh boy, Mr. Black. Apple. It's a big company. It's worth several bajillion dollars right now. And it's been a few years since Apple has had a first-gen brand new product. They haven't done it in a while. They've been doing all their iterations of all their current products, and it's been a hot minute. And one of the main big emerging, I don't know if you call it a blue ocean at this point, but it's still kind of because nobody's really taken off. Big opportunity is the AR/VR space, and they hadn't really, I don't even think they dipped a toe. I think they looked in the general direction of the water, and that was about it. And because that's what Apple does. Apple will sit back, because they can. They're already the wealthiest fucking individuals on earth. So they just sit back, they watch other people flounder, Magikarp their ass around on dry land, trying to figure out a market. They look at it and go, hey, that's not a bad little feature. That's not a bad little feature. We think that might work there. But how do we make it better? How do we make it Apple? Maybe we add rounded corners and sue somebody for having the same shit. What can we do to make this work? And then they put all that together in a blender. They pay a whole bunch of people an obscene amount of money to go behind closed doors that not even fucking top secret clearance would get you past. And then out of nowhere, Tim Apple walks out on stage and says, $6,000. And everyone in the audience goes, yes! 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 I'll take 10! And we got that this week, Mr. Black, in the form of the Vision Pro. It's if Macho Man Randy Savage's glasses were turned into AR/VR goggles, that is literally what you're looking at right there in all of its glory. And so, or ski goggles, if you will. They look a little bit like some ski goggles. These motherfuckers, as much as I'm poking fun at it, these motherfuckers, as you might expect from Apple walking into a new market, they have spent so much money on this, as anyone who buys this out the gate will be spending a lot of money, but they have clearly spent an enormous amount of money and time on this thing because it blows pretty much all the other headsets. In terms of general functionality, it's not a specialist gaming device, for example, but for all intents and purposes, every other feature about this bitch, woo, shit's crazy. So, I mean, like, just the sheer amount of cameras that it has, for example, of tracking your eyeballs is fucking ridiculous. It's a full array for eyeball tracking. You send them your head measurements. This shit comes fucking form-fitted to your big-ass head, so you can get even stranger fucking headphone friggin' dents, except at the back of your head instead of the top. So, like, this is a very unique, customized experience. Hand tracking and eye tracking were priority numero uno because they don't want controllers. They don't want you walking around the room fucking with controllers in your hands doing some crazy shit. They don't want that. They just wanted you to be able to put the headset on and interact with the world around you either in a VR or AR environment and not have to worry about producing controllers. And so they have said they have nothing now and they have nothing planned in the future for any kind of controlling device. Everything is from hand tracking and eyeballs. And so, how does this motherfucker work? Well, for now, it only works with the stock Apple Store apps. Because it's a first-generation device, this is how they launch all of their devices, because, well, why would you open this bitch up to random people producing shit when you want to just lock it up and make it as good as it can be before you do like a Gen 2, and then maybe you go, okay, now some people can get their hands on it and do some other shit with it. So for now, it's just a really interesting productivity machine, although, of course, you could do other things, I'm sure, like watching, movies and things of that nature, if I'm not mistaken. However, stock apps for that. MKBHD, of course, got his hands on this for a period of time and was describing it, and he said he hates, because it's in tech, and everyone always says magic in tech, right? He says he hates using that word, but when he was sitting there for I think he said he had like a half an hour with the headset on. He said the way that you click or interact with things, it's all eye tracking. You do a setup process, obviously, when you first put it on. You look at something, and then you just do this with your fingers. You make a pinch motion. Your hand could be fucking just about anywhere that's not up your own asshole. When you just click your two fingers together, and your eyes are looking at that icon, click. And so he said after a while, he was doing it on it like he didn't even realize, and he's only had the headset for a half hour. He said he was just fucking doing it, which freaked him out a little bit, and he said, honestly, it was like fucking magic. It was weird. Like, the accuracy level of the eye tracking, he said, was fucking insane. So, very interesting. It also has which a lot of people have, of course, made memes of online. It actually has a tilted kind of LED screen thing at the front of the eyes, so that it semi-projects either your own face to the world around you, or some, obscured version of whatever it is that you're working on, so that people can see that you're not seeing them right now. You're just there in the fucking headset, if it wasn't obvious enough as is. But very impressive device. Very, very impressive. 4K basically to each eyeball, as you would expect in a device like this. And just very, very interesting, and a huge step for Apple to actually enter into the space. Because we've talked about it before, this is a market that's still unimaginably niche. Even in gaming, which is what people thought was like the primary driver for artificial, ARVR. So, to have Apple finally step in is pretty fucking huge. Now, how much does it cost, you might ask? I'm glad you asked. Too much for you. Nobody's going to want to buy this thing except for about 5 people in Silicon Valley, which is probably the number of these units that they're going to make anyway, which is exactly why it's priced at what it is. That price, $3,500 US.
Oh.
This is coming in hot and spicy. But again, this is first gen, first movers. Think back to all the first iPhone, the first fucking iPod, the first whatever. You don't have the production to be cranking out 40 million of these fuckers, and you don't want to, because you're still perfecting the product. You need to wow people. You need to wow tech heads that want to be the first to put their hands on the tech. They're gonna pay whatever they could have charged $35,000. There would have been enough people out there to be like, yeah,
oh, for sure,
and bought it anyway. So they're pricing it for them, and that price will skim down, and they'll get more and more people in as they ramp up production and shit. But it will be Gen 2, 3, 4, if it continues on, which I'll get to in a second here. That will be obviously for more of the masses. That will probably, I would imagine, it's still going to cost a lot, but probably more like, $19.99 instead of $3,500 fucking fucking dollars. And the last thing I'll say before I bring in Mr. Black here is, and this is where the question I'm going to ask Mr. Black, since most of this was just a tech talk before that. Now that Apple's entering the space, Mr. Black, Apple is never the first to do anything, really, but they are the ones that tend to drive the mass adoption of lots of different types of tech. For example, in the phone space, not just the smartphone itself, they weren't necessarily the first, but they popularized it with the iPhone. Then, more recent example, they got rid of the headphone jack. Everyone was like, are you fucking insane? Why would you do that? And what happened? Everyone else, including my fucking Samsung, got rid of the 3.5 mil headphone jack. They aren't necessarily always the first to do something, but they are the ones that everyone else then, once they prove that everyone wants it, or will at least tolerate it, they adopt it. ARVR headset, not widely adopted really yet. I believe, and I want your thoughts on this as well, I believe that Apple getting into this will mean one of two things. One, it will either mean a far more accelerated success and growth of this market, if it's successful. If people really just be clamoring for it like crazy and it keeps going and going, kind of like the iPod or the iPhone did when it first came out. Or if it's kind of lukewarm, or it kind of just fizzles out, it will do pretty severe damage to the market segment, and it will take even longer for adoption to happen if Apple can't really come out and make this work big. That's my thoughts on this coming up. What do you think about Apple getting into this? Do you think that I don't think you're going to want to spend $3,500 on one, but are you a little bit interested in what they do with this versus other people?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's Apple. So, I'm going to sound like a bit of an Apple fanboy here, and to some degree I am. I've got tons of Apple products. And I know it's going to be painful for people to hear me say this, but Apple just does it better than everybody else. I'm sorry. It's just true.
They sit back and wait. They better do it better because they sit back and watch everyone else. It's a smart move.
Yeah, they just do it better than everybody else. Now, am I saying that there isn't other tech out there that, statistically has maybe a better output, or a better sound or a better look or a better whatever? Yeah, they exist. But Apple is the best at creating something not new, basically taking something that people know of and turning it into culture, and really they understand their user, and they just make the experience easy to get into, not in terms from a financial point, but like from a user standpoint. It just clicks. You could be a fucking, like, if they took Apple products and gave it to a fucking ape, that the ape would figure out how to use the Apple product. Like, it's that simple. It's just there. They know what they're doing. The stuff is usually of quality. They rarely miss. And I think if Apple is jumping into this space now, they know something we don't. And they are, and the crazy thing is they're going to look like they're the first to market, even though they're not. They're going to look like they're the ones that created all of this, and everybody from here on out is going to look at what Apple has done and what Apple is doing, and they're going to try and mimic it and make their own version, but quote unquote that it's not Apple. And Apple will create the popularity of this. I think this is going to be immensely successful. I don't think it's going to be, they're not going to be selling like iPhones by any means, a $3,500 fucking price tag. But the next couple of generations, they'll dumb it down price wise. The goggles will get even smaller, and it'll get to the point where you're literally wearing fucking glasses.
Well, people were like making the comparison where Google Glass did this shit like fucking 15 years ago, but it was only AR. It wasn't a VR thing.
Yeah,
it was obviously vastly fucking older tech.
Oh, yeah.
But like that's what, like, Google kind of skipped ahead and said, all right, we don't want to do the big headset. We just want the glasses part. So it's like we're working ironically back to a Google Glass kind of a form factor.
It'll get there. It's just a matter of time. They'll get smaller and smaller. But yeah, no, it's cool. I actually haven't heard about this until you brought it up, so I'll have to do some research myself. Obviously, I'm never going to pay fucking $3,500 US to go and get the first generation of a Vision Pro, because we already know Vision Pro Plus is going to be coming like 12 months afterwards, and then they've already got that shit in production right now, right? So, we just wait and see. But it's Apple, guys. You can hate on Apple all you want, and you have tons of reasons to hate on them. I'm not disputing that. But when these motherfuckers enter the arena, shit's getting real. I think the closest thing to a failure that I've seen Apple do on sort of a big scale is like the Apple Watch. That's like the closest thing, and they still sell. Like people still wear. I see them all the time, but it's not as a go-to. But with that being said, there's tons of other watches out there. They're about to get into the market, and they the first really big commercial, consumer ready, get in, put it on. You totally understand what it is. You don't need to be wearing this large fucking thing with all these wires coming down from underneath, and you need a $6,000 PC, and you got to be a semi-programmer and all this other shit. It's none of that. You're going to go to the fucking Apple store, and you're going to have a bunch of people in the Apple store standing there. These things are going to be on display. You're going to put them on, and you're going to go, holy fuck. Let me remortgage my house. That's what's going to happen because it's Apple. So I'm interested. I think it's great. I'm on their site right now. This shit looks fucking dope. I'm not gonna lie. It's like just the right a bit of like futuristic but sleek. You can already tell there'll be improvements in the future. One fucking cord. The fact that you're telling me the dude says it feels like magic, you're like pinching your fingers and it's all, I mean, dude, isn't that what we dream of? You know what I mean? Like tech getting that crazy?
Well, that's just it, right? But it's like also, but because it's like that, of course, the internet's also, the response to this was this is like some dystopian shit. Especially because like the commercial that they ran during the event or whatever included a part where a father was sitting there reliving a recorded moment with the fucking headset on, but the room is empty around him, and everyone was like...
But that's so cool, though, too. Like, that's just, I don't know,
but what it presupposes is that when that moment was happening, he was wearing the fucking headset to begin with. And so it's just kind of like, it's almost like the Wall-E thing where it's just like, how close are we to just like hover chairs and fucking shit strapped to our heads and everyone's just like morbidly obese rolling around the streets. That's kind of like what everyone was kind of just making fun of. But it is very impressive tech. Nothing new, but just using all the stuff that exists, and this is what Apple does, using all the stuff that exists and then tooling it to their to their ecosystem in a very
Bro, I'm looking at these videos right now. Yeah, I'm seeing that thing with the dad's chilling there, and they got the two kids there, but I mean that's some fucking cool to like go back and watch a video. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure.
And all of the virtual stuff, like there's a guy standing there, and like you see in the mountains and the water, and like I've used VR headsets, man. This shit looks fucking real, and I can imagine the tech they got in this is probably on another fucking level. So like
Pornhub.com
talking
right now is sitting there going, oh my god.
Pornhub.com. Holy shit. I'm in. And like imagine like just being on an airplane. Who needs your laptop anymore? Who needs these little screens? You fucking put that thing on there and you're off to the races. You're watching movies, you're fucking, I mean, dude. This is I might have to spend $3,500 USD to get this to say I got it.
I think
see what the write-offs are looking like.
I think one of the best jokes I saw was that somebody was like, man, those dad cops with nothing to lose are gonna go absolutely nuts with this shit in movies. Because it's like the classic, like the cop whose family got killed by a mob, and he's just sitting in an apartment somewhere, the lights are off, he's got the headset back on before he goes on his rampage.
Figuring out the crime.
The dead wife, John Wick, but with straps a VR headset to his fucking head.
Dude, I mean, and if nobody can, like, if you're watching a movie on your headset and the world can't see what you're doing, but you can see what I mean, that's fucking... This is crazy tech. This is like really fucking cool.
Well, that's like the crossover of the AR and VR combination. And like, that's why I said a million years ago, I said VR by itself will never fully take off. VR needs AR to transition into like the everyday space. This is the first product that's successfully merging those two technologies in a relatively smart way. And I still think that as we go on, AR will consume the VR portion.
Yeah.
As time goes on, the tech gets better and better, and it just seems to, that's where we're headed. But yeah, there you go, 3,500 US.
When does this thing come out?
I don't know what the date was. I didn't catch the date. I just saw the price tag and choked. But yeah, it's I think it's probably this year sometime.
Launch is set for early 2024.
Okay, there you go. So before, I would imagine that means either right before fiscal year end or right after the start of the next fiscal year.
$34.99 US. Holy fuck.
Woo! And you better know that's going to sell out in minutes.
I'm crazy. I'm buying it. I gotta.
We just went from there's no chance to immediately buying a $3,500 headset.
I'm fucking
Is it even available for pre-order in Canada?
I don't know, but I'm gonna find out once we're done all this. If I could pre-order, I'm gonna take one for the team, and then I'm gonna experience this craziness.
Gonna have to describe it. Now again, keep in mind you're getting the stock Apple apps. You ain't getting anything fancier than that. So yeah, it'd be quite
fucking cool.
Quite something. Now, from cool tech to uncool old dudes running websites into the ground, it's time to talk about Twitch, Mr. Black.
Yeah,
it's that time. It's almost the summer, which means if you've been keeping tabs at home, every single summer for about 7 years now has been the time where Twitch drops the biggest nuclear shitstorms on their platform. And boy, they haven't wasted any time, as we are only barely cresting into June. Barely not even, really summer weather per se, despite what everyone... By the way, our apologies to New York, who is currently in the 7th circle of hell, experiencing Dante's Inferno thanks to the wildfires up here in Canada. Although double shout outs to the Diablo 4 ad that could not have been better placed at the time that it was to take advantage of the red-orange sky and dystopian world around the billboard for Diablo 4. But yes, our apologies for that. We'll try to stop lighting our forest on fire. That would be a great start. Now, Twitch.tv. It's a place that if we were on right now, mere hours ago, we would have been a little bit hesitant about whether or not we'd be able to do our nordvpn.com/OTT plug in the middle of our stream. It was a convoluted, crazy few hours. Twitch was putting out fucking announcements. People were trying to understand them. Some people misinterpreted, other people didn't, and everyone's was mixed and best, and everything was crazy. So we're going to do a little bit of a breakdown, because there were multiple announcements of different types. Some announced very publicly, others clandestine, under the table, a little bit behind the doors, that got changed as time went on, that people dug up afterwards. It was a complete and utter fucking dumpster fire this week for Twitch. And it's not over yet. We're still waiting for shit to roll through. So let's get started with this, Mr. Black. It's our favorite topic as always. So let's get into it. Twitch. I have in my notes here, very specifically, Twitch can't possibly have feet left to shoot. They're worked up to leg. They're into their shins, maybe even a knee at this point, because they can't shoot a foot. The foot's gone. It's been gone for a while. So is the other one. So they're on stubs, shooting friggin' stubs right now. First in this list of things. First was the release of the change in branded content allowed on the platform on streams, which included reducing what they refer to as burned-in visual sponsorships or ads they weren't allowed to be any larger than 3% of your screen real estate. For reference, the NordVPN icon on your screen right now and the Patreon icon on your screen right now here on YouTube is more or less as big as they could get. Now, they didn't stipulate, part of the problem was, in this early interpretation was, they didn't stipulate if that was 3% total or 3% per logo. And so some people were like, well, I got multiple sponsors. What if I have to have two logos on the screen at once? Now it's 6%. What the fuck is going on? Is it per fucking thing? So there was a lot of confusion, but they put this out. And of course, this did not go well. It immediately lit a torch to pretty much everything on Twitter, all the content creators. And more specifically, as Mr. Black also pointed out on his Twitter, and many others, tournament organizers went, wait a minute. How is any of this supposed to work? Our screens are using a lot more than 3% to be putting the sponsors on that allow these fucking events to even happen to be hosted on your platform to begin with. So it wasn't the most incredibly well worded, although I will say it was, ironically, the most specific change to policy I have seen them write yet. Usually Twitch is like insanely vague. Like they'll put out, as we've seen them about like their terms of service and shit in the past, like what kind of clothing you can wear and what's sexual and not sexual and all this shit. They are usually, I mean, just like Silent Hill 2 fog vague. You're walking through the town and all you've got is a board with a nail in it and there's some crazy shit coming at you. You can't see it. You just know it's there. That's basically how Twitch has written their fucking terms of service shit for years now. But this one, they had like a fucking picture book, Mr. Black. This is like a pop-up picture book for kids. They had just about everything that you could hope, with the exception of, can it be multiple, multiple logos on screen, as specific as possible, down to the percentage of the pixels on the screen as they were happening. And so people were rightly a little confused. They all took to Twitter and other social media, putting pressure on the site. Because what does this mean, Mr. Black, when you can't have sponsors taking up certain stuff? What does this mean for contracts that are currently going? If I ask you, Mr. Black, what is the biggest avenue for people to make money once they hit a certain size? And we're not talking huge. Sponsors.
Yeah.
We're talking you hit 100 people average. From that point up, for most people, unless they're avoiding sponsorships for whatever reason, sponsorships are the biggest source of income, bar none. Not advertisements, not subscriptions, not tips or donations. It's sponsors. And so when you start to rug pull that shit, everyone was like, whoa, hold up. And especially, like we were just mentioning, the tournament organizers. So they walked that one back, Mr. Black, as you would have seen. They came out. And they had their own. I'm actually kind of sad that it wasn't in like card form like all the game developers we talked about the other week. They just put theirs in Twitter, tweet threads. I wish they were in card form so we could add their like our own Twitter, like our Twitch collage of their apologies, because every policy they put out, within like 4 hours, they have 7 apologies for the fucking policy changes they're trying to make. So they came out and they're like, our bad. We were pretty vague about it. It was bad. We missed the mark is their favorite fucking. It's like they looked up the fucking root for the word sin and were like, that sounds good. Put that shit on Twitter. And so they put that bitch out there and everyone went, wait a minute. You weren't actually vague. This was very specific. Nobody believes what you're saying right now. The cat was out of the bag and we hadn't even gotten to part 2 of this bitch. But everyone already looking at Twitch going, wait, what are you doing right now? What is it? What do you got planned over? What's going on over there? And so people were talking. And talk they did. And after the walk back, I'm going to put walk back in quotation marks. Not long after that walk back, so it was like, here's some good news. We're not doing that anymore. And then they slid right in behind that bitch. An even worse thing. And this is the real meat and potatoes. The one that hasn't been really brought to a head yet by Twitch or anyone else. What they're calling the MSA, Mr. Black. This is a real bitch, this one. This is some shit. So let's get into that. Following the walk back, we got the follow-up kick in the balls when they announced a change to their website agreement that essentially said that if you streamed after that update, which by the way, they didn't really publicly announce very much because they wanted as many people to stream after this update as humanly possible so that you were caught with your pants behind or down around your ankles. Once you had streamed after that agreement update had happened, it was essentially you agreeing to the updated terms of service for the site. What were those terms of service? Well, it led to this bad boy. The MSA, the monetized streamer agreement, which even sounds shit on its own. It doesn't even include the word partner anymore, because partner might imply you have any fucking autonomy or say in what's going on. But if you just say monetized streamer agreement, you can just strap a number to a motherfucker and have them be in a cog in a wheel somewhere to churn out content for you so that you can make some money. So the monetized streamer agreement replaces all existing contracts on the platform, Mr. Black. Every fucking one of them. Doesn't matter if you're grandfathered like you and I would have been, or if you're a new contract in the last couple of years. This is going to replace every single one. Affiliates as well. Their contracts also get replaced. Because this is a homogenous agreement that is unifying the general monetization of streamers on the platform, and will be made public for viewing. Everyone that wants to see this agreement will be able to see it whenever they want. This new agreement will also no longer require, and this is the big one, so they're forcing, just keep tabs on this. They changed the terms of service on the site so that if you streamed after that date, without letting anyone know that they changed the terms of service really, that you had agreed to this coming through. Once this is in place, once the contracts that you are currently under, so whether it's yours or mine or anyone else, comes to their term date, which is the yearly term date, whatever contract you have, you are going to get notified, presumably with a certain amount, like 30 days or some shit ahead of time, that you have to now agree to the MSA. And if you don't, you're stripped of your shit. If you agree to it, you also agree to this nice little nugget in here, which is that moving forward, any changes made to the monetized streamer agreement do not need signing off by the people who are you and I on the other side of the agreement. Twitch can unilaterally make changes to the monetized streamer agreement without us signing, which up to this point was not something they could do, because all of our contracts, the ones that we've had up until this point, have a clause in which any changes not only have to come with a certain amount of time ahead, but we also need to sign off on them. And so they're changing that. So now they don't have to do that. They can just do whatever the fuck they want. All they have to do is give you 30 days notice. If you continue on, that's you agreeing to it. If you want to back out, you pay $25 to cancel your contract, and you walk the fuck away. So, there's more. But wait, there's more. People were processing that, which even if you're not a content creator, you might have heard all that and went, "Wow, that sounds kind of fucked up." And that's because it is. But then they followed up with something else. People were still processing this shit. Ammunition was writing theses. People were writing fucking Medium articles. The world was fucking exploding. We had Devin Nash was just putting videos together fast as he possibly could. He's cranking that shit out. Mach 4 informing the way. We had lawyers weighing in on this shit. It was just
Elon Musk was like, "Yo, I think I'm gonna start up a streaming services for gamers on Twitter."
Elon was like, "Twitter? We can take on Twitch." Shit was just all over the place. We had Kick coming in saying, "We'll pay the $25 cancellation fee for people to come on over to fucking Kick." Kick also announced at the same time they're trying to come up with some sort of tiered service in which they will be paying an hourly rate for streamers on top of their other shit, which we don't know the specifics of, so don't get too fucking excited about that. However, all the same, everyone was weighing in on this because obviously it was a hot button topic, and the only one that wasn't getting in on it, YouTube. They were just watching this shit from the back going, "Ha ha! Got him!" But like I said, there's more. So while everyone was, running around chickens with their head cut off, they slipped something else in there. You'll remember or recall that we talked about this many moons ago now, well, several months ago, but the date is coming up for a couple of things here. The ability to simulcast, which is a fancy term for stream on multiple services at once. Say you're playing a game and you've got a YouTube channel and you got a Twitch channel and you've got, for whatever reason, Facebook gaming and whatever else, TikTok, for example. Simulcasting would be streaming to all of them at the same time. And presumably you are able to read 15 chats simultaneously, and so God fucking speed. But however, people were doing that because one thing in content creation you try to avoid as much as you can is putting all your eggs in a single basket. And so lots of people trying to build a platform outside of just Twitch, because for a long time, a lot of old school Twitch streamers only built on Twitch, which eventually, in the last few years, with the policy changes that have been happening, you might imagine, has become a problem. So, they made some changes. At first, back then, they said, all right, look, we're going to let you. This was in the midst of them doing some other bullshit, which I believe at the time was letting everyone know that the 70-30 and greater splits were going away after you make $100,000 a year. So anything above 100 grand was 50-50, below 100, if your contract allowed it. First of all, let's just fucking quantify that, or qualify that. If you had it, up to 100, then after that's 50-50. Everyone else, 50-50 flat, that's the show. Shout out to Zamek for $22, bless. Thank you very much for that, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
So, around that time, that was their band-aid. They said, oh yeah, that's real, that looks bad, but trust us, it's for your own benefit. We're going to allow you to simulcast. And everyone was like, oh really? That's kind of okay, all right, sure. But, and the but was, it can't be to main competitors, which was YouTube, Facebook gaming at the time, Mixer if it still existed, shit like that. But you could stream to TikTok, they didn't give a fuck about that, or like Instagram Live or whatever the fuck, but none of their main competitors. So people were like, okay, well, I mean, it's better than nothing, but still kind of shit. That's gone. Bye-bye. So for a time, certain people not on contract, so if you were not an affiliate or not a partner, you could simulcast all you want. Because as far as Twitch was concerned, well, you probably weren't big enough for anyone to give a fuck. And so they just let you do it. You weren't there, they weren't paying you. And so they just let you go about your business and simulcast UFC fucking whatever night it was to every streaming service that you wanted to.
And then Ninja said, hey, hold my beer.
Hold my whatever, the Bud Light, whatever he's sponsored by, whatever weird fucking beer he's drinking. And he said, hey, what if I just leave my contract and just, because eyeballs and stuff, I'm making more money off eyeballs from this magic word here.
Yeah.
Sponsorships. So he just needs eyeballs. So yeah, fuck the partnership shit. I'll simulcast everywhere. Get thousands of people on every platform. That's the way to play it. So we did. And clearly somebody at Twitch went, wait a minute, that's probably not good. And now here we are. They followed this up with, not only are partners and affiliates not allowed to simulcast anymore, but everyone is no longer allowed to simulcast. And everyone went, well, fuck me, this is even worse. And Twitch eventually went, wait! All right, we're walking that one back, we swear. And they said some nice fluffy words. But in reality, what they did is they just moved that shit into a different part of the agreement and kept basically the same verbiage. Shit's still there. And so as it stands, that's kind of where we left off. That's the last we heard from Twitch on any of this shit. So as we have right now, they are trying to work their way in on sponsorships. Clearly, Twitch wants to operate as an agency for all of their partnered streamers. Clearly, because they want a cut of every single dollar that comes into the pockets of anyone that's on the platform. They're working on it. Them saying that it was I didn't put this in, but they said the walk back on the ad percentage and all that original meme was to target very specific a very specific technology of literally piping in shit that were is like an actual ad agency piping stuff in, not a sponsor like, for example, NordVPN with us, but like an actual ad agency using web injection to pipe in shit that would supersede Twitch ads or conflict with Twitch ads, etc., etc. It's essentially cutting out Twitch entirely as an ad agency. They said it was that. I had never even heard that existing until they mentioned it. I can't imagine very many people had that going, if at anything. Nobody believes that's really what that was for. That might have been like the public-facing reason to make it look like it was okay, but the reality is they want to be an agency, 100%. They want a cut of all the sponsorship deals that come through all of the streamers' pockets. They want to have all of the companies register with them to be able to work with the streamers and then filter that down to the partners. Well, they're not partners, sorry, the monetized streamers to be able to get a cut of all of their shit. So that's where that sits right now. And that's what they're trying to do. Follow that up with no simulcasting for anyone. Means if you're on Twitch, you are on Twitch. Period. If you're on Twitch, you can't stream simultaneously somewhere else, which means you would have to split your hours throughout the week, stopping from Twitch, streaming somewhere else, coming back to Twitch, streaming somewhere else. To which, of course, you know, for somebody like Ninja, he came out with a video and was like, so what, you're giving me only Twitch or everyone else because nobody else has the stipulation? Clearly, I'm going to go with everyone else. Why would I lock myself to a singular fucking platform if I can just do everyone else somewhere? Like, why?
Well, I think ultimately, I think what Ninja's going to do, unless he just puts his foot down and is just like, nah, fuck you, you know, like, I'm just done on this platform. I think what Ninja will do is he'll get his partnership back from Twitch. He'll make his, you know, his money on Twitch. But then when he wants to stream on other platforms, he'll just not stream on Twitch and he'll stream on all those other platforms at the same time. And then just show up to Twitch maybe 2-3 times a week. He'll make 7 figures a year on Twitch. And then he'll, you know, make multiple 7 figures on those other platforms combined. Or he might just take a stand and just say, no, you know what? You know, making $1 million on Twitch is just, nah, I don't need it. I'm already filthy rich. I'm just going to put my foot down and maybe others will do the same. Or, you know, you're not going to strong arm me into getting a partnership with you again and making you half of my money or 70% of my money up to 100K and then, or 30%, sorry, up to 100K and then.
And you know
50/50.
That's going away immediately. That's my last point. Then I want to hear everything you've got going on in that little dome of yours, Mr. Black. My last point of this is that with that MSA change, with a 30-day notice, meaning they can just change whenever the fuck they want.
Yep.
I promise you, one of the very first things that's going away is the 70-30 split. Everyone will be knocked to 50-50 as soon as viably possible for the platform. That's happening. They will be the only platform that sits at 50-50. I promise you it's happening. I'm going to follow this last one up, and I want Jeff's opinion on this after he gives me his opinion on everything else about this. I want you to button it up with this one. I think there is a 25% chance, maybe even a bit more, depending on how the rest of this next couple of weeks shake out and what we hear from them regarding some of this shit. And after everyone combs through every fucking document to make sure they're not just lying, I think Amazon's going to be selling Twitch inside the next 5 years. I think they're doing everything they can to try and make this profitable as they want to. And if they can't do it in the next half decade, they're looking for places to sell this product off. Because how many streamers, I mean, not to make this a longer thing, I'm going to just tell you right now, content creation in general, I mean, we already saw when Twitch got the leaked shit, we already know what people are making. From the biggest of the big, down to the smallest of the small, we had a much better barometer of what people are actually bringing in as content creators. And now more than for many years, the amount of money that you can make without being a 0.00001%er is getting harder and harder, a lot more effort for a lot smaller amount of money. And so to lock yourself in on something like Twitch with this kind of contract versus going literally anywhere else would be pretty much career suicide for the vast majority of content creators, unless you're somebody big enough, like Jeff was saying with Ninja, where he could pop onto Twitch 2 times a week, 6 hours at a time, and still bring home like $150,000, $250,000 a year in subs just for showing up twice a week and doing some sort of fucking meme, playing with another streamer or some other shit, you know, because he can. But for anyone else, I especially when they bring in the 50-50 only, I promise that's happening. They've already, with the change for like the regional pricing, that knocked like 20% out of everyone's pockets right there. Then they came out with the bits, the gifted subs.
I saw this.
Everything.
I called this shit out years ago.
And now we're at 50-50 across the board, not even the first 100K, but just across the board for everyone. That's going to knock another 20 to, for some people, upwards of 30%.
Me.
Right?
I'm a 70-30.
And so am I. And so you get rid of another 20% of the income that's already getting thinner and thinner. That's not sponsorship. And you can see they showed their hand. They're coming for the sponsorships too.
100%.
So how many people are going to stick around for that event? Like how realistically to keep the platform afloat? And so I think there's a very reasonable chance that inside the next 5 years, Amazon is in a position where they just go, we're just not making the money. We need to sell it while it's still worth something. And they're just going to offload it to somebody else or close the bitch down entirely and not even bother selling it. Because I don't know how you sustainably have this platform when YouTube exists at 70-30. That by itself, no sponsorship issues. They're not coming after you for any of this shit. That by itself, you'd be insane. So anyway, Mr. Black, all of that being said, what was your experience watching all of this come through on social media? What are your thoughts on this? I would love to know.
I guess I'll just start with the
ad space one?
No, we'll go with the multicasting shit.
Okay.
I personally think, and I mean, maybe I'm just passing the buck, so, I could be wrong, but I think Ninja propped this. I think if Ninja did not so publicly try and almost find a loophole in the system, and be so vocal about it, I think this still would have happened eventually because somebody was going to do it. But I think it expedited this because for a while Twitch was like, oh yeah, if you're not a partner, you can do whatever you can do. You can stream on multiple platforms, blah, blah, blah. You're not under any agreement. And I think to a degree, it makes sense. I think this part is probably the part that I agree with the most. And I still don't agree with it because, I mean, at the end of the day, it still takes away from the content creator. And if they don't have any it's like if you're using your Apple phone and, all of a sudden they're like, I don't want you texting anybody that has an Android. You have to only text from iPhone to iPhone. It's kind of, like I understand why they're doing this and why they allow you to do like TikTok or Instagram Live. And they do that because discoverability, because they know that the people on TikTok and the people on Instagram Live are probably not on Twitch. And so they understand that there could be a conversion there to bring those eyeballs over to Twitch because they're simultaneously casting. Well, they know that if people are on YouTube watching a live stream or they're on Kick watching a live stream, they already have Twitch accounts and they already are integrated within the live stream. I can't think of any person, and maybe somebody in the comment section or in the chat live right now will let me know, but like, is there anybody here that doesn't have a Twitch account, that doesn't watch Twitch or heard of Twitch, and you're watching this live stream on YouTube? There's probably not many. You could definitely see that on Instagram and TikTok simply from the demographic and where those places are on the internet. So I understand why they're doing that. Kind of shitty that, like, if you're not even a partner, you can't do it. I mean, that's when you're not a partner on Twitch, you got to do anything and everything you can to get discovered. I mean, you are buried. So, in order to have some lifeblood, you're going to need to be casting on that YouTube channel that you have 50 or 100 or 1,000 subscribers. You're going to need to be on the Facebook page or the Kick stream and be on Twitch. You're going to need to be that guy or that gal that is on multiple platforms so you can have some kind of discoverability. If you're a new streamer and you're on Twitch, depending on the category you're under, you're just not going to be seen. This is that simple. You're just, unless somebody's literally searching from smallest streamer to largest streamer in the directory, you're not going to be seen. And chances are from the smallest, you're going to have 50 streamers from 0 views to 3 views, and you're still going to be buried within that small subsection anyway. So you got to do what you got to do. You got to get in front of as many people as humanly possible. So that's shitty for those people. Do I think that this hurts streamers as a whole on Twitch? No. I don't think the ones that are already established, the ones that already, are the monetized streamers on the platform, your affiliates and your partners. I mean, for one, they couldn't do it before anyway, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a difference. So we'll start with that. That's okay. Sure. What's the other one? The other one is the 70-30 split shit. I'm with you, Adam. I fear the worst. I fear the worst for my 70-30 split. I think this time next year, I'll be at 50-50. Unless they have some sort of grandfathered thing in where they are going to keep the 70-30 people, and that's that. But the reason why I don't think that is the case is because you spelled it out for everybody. There's a reason why they're making this change. They didn't just wake up one morning and say, you know what, fuck it. Let's just get everybody to sign this new contract. Doesn't matter if you signed a contract last week or last decade. We need everybody. And if you don't, you're losing all your shit. So there's a reason why they're doing it. And guess what? It's not for the benefit of the streamers, guys. It's the benefit of Twitch, period, point blank. And if you don't believe that yet, still, then you're just naive and you're just dumb. I mean, I'm sorry. You're just dumb. There's a reason why they're doing this. And they are going to take more from the streamers. I mean, it's that simple. They're not doing this to give you a raise. You're going to wake up in 6 months and go, everybody, guess what? It's Christmas. And we're all going to 70-30, boys. We heard you loud and clear. Oh, man, we're so happy to finally just give some good news. 70-30 for all. No. You ain't even going to see we're getting rid of the 100K cap. So you're just 70-30, just go. No, that ain't happening. If anything, shit's coming down. Everybody's going to 50-50. They ain't going to have this anymore. And I also believe that they're going to completely, I'm calling this out. I think they're going to completely get rid of all exclusive contracts on Twitch. All these streamers that got the bags, enjoy those bags. They're gone. If you think you're getting another $20 million, $10 million, $3, $4, $5 million a year because you're a streamer that gets 20, 30, 50,000 concurrent viewers and you've got all these eyeballs? Nah, bro, you got your bag, invest because you ain't getting that bag again. I think Twitch has learned a very tough lesson. When they were handing out money left, right, and center trying to compete with say, Mixer that went bankrupt, Facebook that's about to go fucking bankrupt, the Facebook gaming, that shit ain't going to exist in another 12 months. That's gone. That's fucking gone. All of those partners, whenever renewals come, none are renewing. The bags, they got offered a bag to start. All their numbers came down when they went over to Facebook. And now Facebook is offering you new bags based off of what you have now, which guess what? Is not a lot. They ain't paying you millions. I'm sorry. That's why a lot of these streamers are coming over to Twitch and reality is sinking in. They ain't getting the bags from Twitch. Or if they are, those bags are running out. So I'm calling it ain't no more exclusive. And in fact, the fact that they got this clause in here, I think they're going to bring everybody to the same level playing field. There ain't going to be no more favoritisms. There ain't going to be no more, Ninja. Remember, Ninja used to be the darling of Twitch. He's out there cussing the fuck out of them now. Ninja was the guy on New Year's Eve getting paid $1 million from Red Bull to go there and do the fucking floss. He used to be the guy, the blue frosted tips. You guys remember that saga? Only bleed purple? Nah. He was bleeding purple because they were giving him the fucking bag. And the thing is those bags are going and the streamers are going, no. Because a lot of these streamers used to wouldn't say shit about Twitch. They do stuff like this. They keep their fucking mouth shut and take that money. That's simple. Now you're hearing them outcrying. Almost all of them. And that's when you know. Because if they still had Poll behind the scenes and they still had those channel managers and those big brand deals coming in from behind the scenes, they'd shut the fuck up. They wouldn't say nothing to nobody. Not a soul. Those bags are running up. And now you're hearing them go, okay, fuck. Now you're hearing words like Kick come out their mouth. Rumble come out their mouth. Twitter come out their mouth. YouTube come out their mouth. Because they know their bags are ending, and now they're trying to get bags from these other streaming services. And I think that these other streaming services are also catching on, and they ain't. Look who's doing it the best. I actually think who's doing it the best right now is YouTube. YouTube is shutting the fuck up. They're just doing what they're doing, and they're keeping large, multi-million subscriber channels. They're paying them, and they're keeping them on that platform. And that's that. And you know they're getting all the help in the world with the algorithm on the back end, and they're getting fucking massaged, and they're you know, that system is working for them, and that's why they're keeping their mouth shut over there. The other ones that are doing it right now is Kick. And the thing is with Kick is just being reactionary. Kick is just memeing the fuck out of Twitch, memeing the fuck out of these other streaming services, and they're just doing it. And that's a whole nother fucking bag of worms. But at the end of the day, Twitch is doing so much shit that people are going, what the fuck? That Kick is starting to look like the good guys. Kick. Okay?
That's
Steak.
Tough. That's tough.
Steak is looking like a savior right now. It tells you everything you need to know. So, yeah, I fully agree. I think the 50-50 across the board is coming. I don't think it's going to happen I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think it's going to be a year out.
That's next summer's nuclear bomb.
Yep. That's coming. That's coming. And I also believe, and I have no insider information, guys. I don't know. I mean, I do still work with Twitch on some things from time to time, and I still love the company. Like, okay, maybe I don't. Okay, love is a strong word.
Tolerate.
I still have love for Twitch. You know, let's just say this. I am just super grateful that I'm at the tail end of my career, and I'm not, all this shit didn't happen 5-6 years ago, because I'd be stressed the fuck out. Straight up. I mean, I'm still a little stressed out about all this stuff because, like, you know, yeah, I make a good living on Twitch, but like I'm not some mega streamer that's, I make a good living, but all that is on the backs of my community. It's not on the backs of the ad revenue I'm getting on Twitch or the subscriptions that I get on Twitch. Those things help, but like it doesn't help when those things are being gouged all the time. I took a massive hit financially when Twitch entered this gifting of subs market. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they know exactly what they're doing when it comes to going into now the sponsor stuff with this 3% thing. I believe that, just like what Adam said, they want a piece of everything that the streamer is doing. They don't want us, the streamers, to be independent contractors that are going to go out there and make 80% or 70% of our living outside of Twitch's grasps. They want us. It's kind of like Dana White with the UFC, right? Where it's like everybody, unless you a superstar and you get in the bag, everybody, you do as you're told, and this is what you're getting paid, and we will only reward the ones that are out there, landish, loud, brings in the eyeballs. And the thing is if you go up against the power, you are silenced, essentially. And I'm not saying that Twitch is silencing streamers, but it's getting to the point where they want you to rely on Twitch so much that you have no choice but to fall in line. If they have their hand on your ad revenue, which they do, they have their hand on your donations, which they do. And I know that they don't take a percentage of donations, guys. But how many people watching this stream right now or this VOD donate way less money than they did before because now they're conditioned to gift subs, which is in a form a donation to the streamer. It has become the culture on Twitch. So in a roundabout way, they do have their money, their hands on that. And for the majority of streamers, they're taking half. They're taking 50%, 50-50. A donation, if you donate, if you gift 10 subscribers, that's costing you $50 US, right? Or is it, is it 10?
50. Yeah,
50
10.
US, okay? Yeah. The streamer's getting 25. Then they pay tax on that as well. If you donate $50, the streamer's getting like 48 and some change, or 47 and some change. After PayPal takes their fees, then they pay tax. Think about it. They got their hands on the ad revenue. They got their hands on the disposable income of the streamer, aka gifted subs / donations. The thing that they don't have is sponsorships. They tried to do this with the bounty board, where I guarantee you the offer, if I got a $500 offer for a bounty board to stream a game for 1 hour or 2 hours, guaranteed that $500 that I made is half of what Twitch got. They're making their cut too. And I'm going to make the assumption that it's going to be 50-50 like everything else. Maybe it's worse. I don't know. Maybe it's better for some. I don't know. I don't know. But you know they're making money. Because that they get a big campaign, they push it out, first come, first serve. Once that ad fill is filled up, that's it. You can't get the bounty anymore. That's why if you see a bounty and you like it, you got to lock that in, because an hour from now, 30 minutes from now, that deal could be gone because the fill is up. Then you look at things like stream elements. So stream elements, you've got all the pop-ups and stuff. What does Twitch have now? They've got alerts on the back end. They want everything going into the ecosystem of Twitch. When you make money, Twitch wants to be the one to feed it to you, so that you have this feeling of, I need Twitch to pay me, not I need NordVPN to write Leg TV a check. And they want a piece of that. It's very clear. I mean, it's as clear as it gets. So it's inevitable. I don't know how they're going to pull this off. It's only a matter of time before they have some kind of clause or some kind of brand-related thing. And I think what ultimately is going to happen, they're going to come out with maybe a better bounty board or a better sponsorship-related thing where streamers can opt in and make money. And if they do that, just like the AdSentive program, it's going to come in fucking hot. You're going to go, oh my God, fucking Manscaped is going to pay me $5,000 to do 2 hours. Oh, this is incredible. And everybody's going to get hooked on it. And they're going to be like, yep, but if you take these deals, you can't get your own deals. Or you can get your own deals, but it's got to be 3% of the screen. Or there's going to be these clauses. Or you can't have competitors to official Twitch branded companies that we're working with. There's going to be something. And then after 6 months, a year of that really good money, just like the ad incentive program, which I called out, shit's going to go down. They got everybody hooked. They got everybody in on this. Yes, yes, yes. And then it's going to go down. And then eventually you're going to be left with minimal. And I don't know. I hope none of this stuff happens, but the writing is on the wall. And I think right now they're just kind of tiptoeing around, trying to infiltrate our pockets in a way that we don't notice, but we're noticing everything. And I just wish that Twitch would be upfront and honest about their struggles as a company and say, hey, guys, we want to continue to be here. We love what this is. We need to make money. And to be frank, we don't know exactly how to navigate these waters. But we're just going to be upfront and honest. Things are going to feel weird and tight around here. We're going to have to skimp down. It's like Amazon making 20,000 job cuts, but like without just firing streamers, they gotta cut their bottom line. And then, I don't know, man. I'm so conflicted about all this because on one hand, I'm a capitalist, right? Like I understand the company needs to make money and I want Twitch to make money. I want Twitch to be super successful. I want Twitch to be here when my son's a teenager. The problem is we as the streamers can't always be the out. It's not our job to make you money. It's your job to enable us to make money while helping you make money. Right now, it's like we've done all the legwork. Like what exactly has Twitch done for us in the last 5-6 years as a whole and added some really big value? Amazon Prime, the Prime shit, that was the biggest triumph that Twitch has had in recent memory. And that's old news now. And even that has gotten very egregious. They have gone, the level of hype trains, and we all just call them scam trains, and the flashy shit, the stuff that I have to e-bag essentially people to gift subs because nobody's fucking donating anymore. People don't want to watch 8 minutes of ads in a row. You'll lose your viewership. They just want to leave. Like, fuck this. But it's like, how else do we make our money?
So I have thoughts about that. I have a theory of how we got here. And how we got here is why some of this is happening. And why I think there's almost no solution that's going to solve it, but just drag this out and inevitably end in the shutting down of the site or the sale from Amazon for somebody else to figure it out. So I'll start with this, and we've talked about this before. YouTube, which is massive, which is an understatement of itself. YouTube is fucking ginormous. Dwarfs Twitch. They don't really make money. YouTube, for many years, and could still be to this day, was run at a loss by Google. YouTube being owned by Google means that they have access to the most powerful analytics the internet has access to. Nobody comes close to Google's analytics. The granularity of information that Google has on every person that has waltzed through any of their services or used their search engine or went on YouTube is insane. By the way, I'll use this opportunity to thank Major because we're coming up for air here. Thank you, Major. 50 euros. We're eating good. Bless you. So they have this insane, powerful data that allows them to do what? Have the most high-value, targeted ads possible for YouTube as a platform. And it only gets better over time. It gets more and more targeted. The value of the ads goes up and up and up as people continue to use their services, and they're collecting all this data, and they have this insane data analytics on the back end. If as a creator, you might think you even understand analytics, and then if you go into Google Analytics back end and you actually start looking at shit, your fucking head gonna explode. And that's what they surface for you. That's not what they've got. That's just what they surface for your ass. And so, with that being said, understanding that YouTube struggles to make money with the highest value ads of any video platform, bar none, means that Twitch is already fighting an uphill battle right off the rip. As a content creator as well, if you have a YouTube channel or many like Jeff and I do, and you're on Twitch like Jeff and I are, you will know that there is an absolute fucking Marianas Trench chasm between the analytics available to the streamer on Twitch and the analytics available to the person on YouTube. Night and day. Twitch has had, since its inception as an actual platform of Twitch, not just Justin TV, a miserable time targeting ads to make them worth money. The best they've been able to do is just carpet bomb large sections, and that's just not worth the money that YouTube's ads are worth. So they're already starting with a shorthand, and then they have to pass whatever that is on to the streamer, which is why for years everyone was like, Jesus, how are these ads? I could run ads all day. I'll make 4 cents on this platform. It doesn't make any sense. Like, you can compare like viewership to viewership of like YouTube to Twitch, and you're like, what the fuck? That's why. Because they're not worth as much to the people that are buying space on Twitch. When do I think that needed to change dramatically? The moment Amazon bought Twitch. Amazon is one of the only companies that could even, and using the word approach is even a stretch, but approach the analytical capabilities and advertising targetability of Google as a company. And clearly, you cannot convince me that Amazon, upon purchasing Twitch, went into the back of Twitch's site and said, we need, right now, to make sure that we sort out your ad problem and integrate everything we've got to support your site to get hyper-targeted ads so that for every eyeball on this website, you're making money and we're making money. And at some point, the streamers will be happy too, because they'll make more money in the process. That clearly did not happen, or didn't happen nearly as much as it needed to. And so that's one strike against them already. Their biggest moneymaker as a platform cut out from underneath them. Twitch has been running on venture capital for like a decade.
Oh, yeah.
And that money, just like in esports, bye-bye. Not there. Which means they need ads to make shitloads of money, which is why, even though the monetary value of the ads have gone up, which is why this like ad program that Jeff was just talking about has enabled some streamers to make almost comparable to YouTube money. Not quite, but getting better. People are walking into the site to go find a stream. They click on the stream, and it says playing ad 1 of 9. 45 seconds.
Yep.
You've got like 10 minutes of fucking ads.
Well, now there's a legitimately a 10-minute ad break on the back end now. You can run 10-minute ad breaks. And
when I'm saying that's pre-roll. We're not even talking about like the streamer choosing to run ads.
Oh yeah.
This is just pre-roll.
Just smack you with it.
So this is desperation beyond desperation. They changed the 70-30 split because, as we saw in that leak, what percentage of streamers are the ones actually making money for the platform? Yep. 0.01%.
Yeah.
And what all of them are making? Well north of 100,000. So what do? Well, south of 100,000 for partners. Fucking buckets of them. They'll be happy. They know they're still getting their 70-30 split up to 100K. Everyone else, fuck them. That was the next part, them trying to claw some money back a little bit. Well, now we're doing all this shit, trying to get it bits. We need to get bits. We need to get fucking gifted subs. We need to get our hands as many pockets as possible. All of this stuff is reactionary to the immediate fact that in Twitch's early days before being bought out by Amazon, they really didn't have either the capabilities, the knowledge to, or never thought to really invest more heavily into ways to make the website profitable long-term without the need for venture capital. And so all this was great when they were making their venture capital. Then they got bought out and shit started going tits up, and Amazon's sitting there going, well, we need you to actually make money now because we bought you. And so by this year, We need you to cross over into the green here for us.
That's why everybody's leaving. It's why so many people. That's why so many people left Twitch. It's like work wise, they're just like this ain't the same. This is just pure corporate. This is Amazon. This is not Twitch. So yeah, I mean, I get it. I don't like it. I'm nervous. I love Twitch. I love being on Twitch. But like even myself, like I'm streaming a little bit on Kick. I'm trying to prepare for the inevitable, because there's just going to come a time where Twitch isn't, which is so crazy for me to even say this out loud, but I feel like the time is approaching where eventually Twitch is just not going to be the ideal place to stream. And that's nuts to even say, because even 2 years ago, and Twitch had its problems for sure. But even then, I'm like, yeah, no, Twitch is not going anywhere. It's the leader. It's always going to stay the leader. Now it's like, it's up for grabs, man.
And this is with YouTube, by the way, doing almost
nothing. They just stayed the same. They just kept doing what they're doing.
Nothing.
You don't see any of this shit on YouTube.
If at any point YouTube wanted to walk in and start actually like investing more into making the site more navigation friendly and stuff for streams and all this other shit, this would be like the moment. Like if I wanted to like spend the money, I think YouTube don't care because they can sit there all day. They have all the time in the world, so it doesn't matter. But if they wanted to come in and do the killing blow, so to speak, walk up behind with the bat and just what? This would be the moment right here. But I don't think that as soon as they lost what was his name? Fwiz? Or Fwiz? Fizz? Oh, what was his name? Ryan? As soon as he left, I knew they were probably going to stagnate the streaming platform side for a really good long time. They thought they were just good enough at that point. But, dude, it's 100%. We're getting to a point where Twitch won't be the ideal place. We're getting to a point where Twitch will, and I think this is the one that fucks me up. We're getting closer and closer to a point where Twitch won't be a part of my life.
Yeah, man.
Because if I'm not here streaming, I'm not here at all. I don't have time to watch streamers in the first place. So like I'm already like, I don't get to like,
yeah.
But it would just, which is insane to even think about.
It's sad.
And it's just brutal.
Yeah, it's brutal, and it's just like, dude, I'm trying to defend Twitch as much as I can, but like the way that they're doing this shit, it's just,
you gotta give something back. You gotta like add features and shit people give a fuck about. Like, you gotta do something. But they've just been doing one unilateral, one directional pull, and then they'll be like, oh, well, you can do like, what do they call it? Co-star or co-stream? Like where you have multiple. Nobody fucking cares.
Nobody fucking cares. Nobody's using that shit.
No.
Nobody cares, dude.
They like got rid of like traditional rating and shit. Like they're just like everything that was good, there's like taking away. They're adding nothing in return, and now they're doing this shit. And so like it's just wild. But for me, just to put a button on this as well, like the whole ad thing for streamers my size that were floating, between the 70 to 120 range, I can't find any game where I can get consistent followers with anymore.
Yeah,
I can only play games where I'll get more of my own community to show up.
Yeah.
And that's there is no such thing as new followers. I was talking about this on my stream, and why I'm telling people, by the way, youtube.com/@IamNova.
Yeah.
Wink wink, nudge nudge, slap in the face, go over there. I have months where I have 0 new followers, and I could stream for 200 or more hours. Popular games within my community, streams where I have 70 to 90 people watching, and I'll have 0 goose egg new followers. Because people get bounced by endless ads. I've been streaming for a decade. I've never seen anything like it until they started doing this shit. And it's completely crushed my stream. Even like, me leaving to do the house was bad enough. But like in conjunction with this, I can't get in a month hundreds of hours with almost 100 people, and I wasn't turning over a new person. One. That's when I knew. I looked at it and I said, "Oh, we're end of the road here."
Oh, 100%. 100%. End of the road. There's no the only thing that you can do right now, unless you're a big time streamer, because the big time streamers are gonna be fine because it's the whole thing is catered around them anyway. They're still gonna take some hits for sure.
They have the weight to move.
They can withstand those hits, right?
Yeah.
The smaller streamers, or the ones that are, it's really the ones that are just making enough to live. And we're talking like minimal wage or a little bit more, just enough where it's like, if I make any less, I actually can't pay my bills. This is a problem. Those people, they're fucked. They need to start diversifying where their content, or they need to get into school, or they need to get ready to go back to work.
I'm doing this becomes a hobby into Wendy's.
Yes,
it's where my ass is gonna be.
No, straight up. I even hate. It's sad to say it, but like, it's the damn truth. Everything that Twitch implements right now is just adding another layer of or another hurdle to jump over, and it's to the point where there's nobody is going to show up to the fucking race. You're just going to be there, and it's just going to be hurdles in an empty stadium. And they're like, no. And the person that comes to the stadium to watch the race, the ticket master, aka Twitch, is going, before you go into this arena that has 0 people in it, okay? I need you to watch these 8 ads from our sponsors. I need you to watch these. And then as the person going into the race, they go, no, why am I watching all of this shit to see what's going on in this empty stadium? I already know what's going on in this empty stadium. I want no part of this. I'm going to go to the stadium over, where, yes, I will have to watch 9 ads, but the stadium is full. So when these ads are done, I'm actually going to have people to go and talk to, there'll be a show going on. It's just not going to be this barren wasteland. That's where we're at. If you're a streamer and you're just getting by, don't wait any longer. You need to start making actions now. You should have started making them yesterday.
Well, this, in the grand scheme of things, just I guess to wrap this up and then we'll move on. In the grand scheme of things, it feels like this was a slow burn. The bulk of all of this bullshit is like 18 months.
Yeah.
In the last 18 months to 24
it's happening
most.
Quick. It's happening quick.
All of it front end or like back ended to that. And so for some, it's like a sneak attack. It feels like you should be able to see this coming even faster, or because it's happening faster. But for some people, when they just get on, like a streamer's life, a lot of the time, you wake up, you do whatever,
you get
stream,
lost in the sauce, man.
12 hours, you go to bed. And so you don't see, like you think you'd see it, but you don't, because most of your time is just making the content. You're not catching this shit unless you're somebody that's making so much money. You're streaming like 6 hours a day and then administrative shit for like another few hours in the back end. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, one last, I fucking forgot to say this, and I'll just say this, and then we're gonna do our ironically, our sponsor bit. They added something new into this contract as well, Mr. Black. I can't remember how they worded it, but like they're actually putting in like minimum like content quality
required
and requirements for the first time into these contracts. They didn't outline exactly what the fuck that means, so you don't know exactly like how many hours does this mean. Now you don't even have guaranteed money, but you still want us to stream a guaranteed number of hours a month and to a certain quality level that you're not fucking like you're super bad at being specific about anything, so you could just arbitrarily just pull fucking contracts because you just say the quality's not good enough. So that's also, I forgot to fucking add, that's also, which is clearly fucking abysmal.
Dude, they're charging people $25 to get out of
to
their
cancel
contract.
the contract.
Are you
And
that
it's an administrative
hard up?
fee, but like
Yeah,
really?
exactly. But really, really, $25? I mean, that's 2 Big Mac meals. I mean, come on. You're Amazon, okay? Bezos, okay? Yeah, $25 for an already struggling streamer. You're gonna charge. I mean, is it even really worth the bad press? Like, just, I mean, gosh, damn. Like, what happens if they end your contract, right? So what happens, like, because now they are in control, right? So what happens if they say, hey, you know what, monetize, you're done. Oh, $25 on the way out. Like, are they doing that? I don't know. Like, that's the thing. Who knows at this point? I just hope that Twitch, that this is a wake-up call, which, let's be real, it's not for them. Like, they're just going to do what they're going to do. And we already know where they're at. It's inevitable, guys. They just because they put this out and they took a step back, this don't mean that this shit ain't coming back. They got to reword it. They got to maybe modify it a little bit. They got to, do whatever. It's coming. So prepare your bodies. If they're support your streamers, guys. Support your streamers. If
they have to move somewhere else, that's the most important thing.
You have to support your streamers. Do not, and that's the great thing, which is different now, is years ago, if a streamer said, "Hey, I'm moving platforms," or I'm gonna spend some more time over here, or whatever, a lot of the community is like, "No, I don't like that app. I don't like this. I don't like that." Now, it's almost like the viewers, because of the amount of ads that are being thrown in their face, how much the streamers are being transparent about how screwed they've been getting, viewers are more than ever, not all of them, but more than ever willing to go where the streamer goes. And obviously, they're still going to take a hit no matter what. Doesn't matter who you are. But it feels as though finally the viewers are getting conditioned like the streamers are, and they're starting to be a little bit more lax about the decision-making that some of these streamers are having to make. Support your streamers, guys. I'm not saying don't subscribe on Twitch or, make sure that Twitch doesn't make any money. They definitely deserve to make money. But if you want to see your smaller, your medium-sized streamers continue to do this for a living and entertain you, unfortunately, the onus is going to be on the viewer to open up their wallets and not necessarily the tools that we have as streamers to make money the old-fashioned way, which is kind of shit, but it's where we're at.
And now we're at that time to sell out Mr. Maximus Black. Tell him about our sponsors.
Well, first is patreon.com/legtv. If you guys want to support Adam and I, you know where to do it. Head on over there. They even got the dollar menu. And then $5 or more allows you to take part of tech support as well, where we answer your guys' questions here on podcast and in the StarCraft casts. You guys, our Patreons have gone up substantially over the last 6 weeks or so since we started doing StarCraft and stuff again, so we do appreciate it. And then obviously when Stormgate finally releases, we'll venture down that road and hope the game's good. If you guys want to support our sponsor so that we can continue, our current contract is good until August. So if you guys want to help out and get those subscriptions in so that we can get a renewal come August, it is a big deal for us. They are a big chunk of how they're just a big chunk. So if you guys are in the market to get a VPN, a virtual private network, think NordVPN and use that promo code OTT. That is NORDVPN.com/OTT. When you get a 2-year subscription or more, you get a massive discount plus 4 bonus months. That is still going to be good for about another week, and then the deal is going to change up. So I think this time next week, I'll double check. That deal will change here very soon. So if you guys want to take advantage of getting those 4 bonus months, do that very soon. Head on over there. Stay safe. Stay anonymous when you're on the internet. watch different regions of Netflix and other streaming services at the click of a button by masking your IP to a different region, unlocking and opening up different catalogs and licensing from these streaming sites. And of course, when you're on the internet, if there's region block content, websites, Twitter feeds, videos on YouTube, you can quickly, at the click of a button, mask your IP to a different region so that you can unlock that content and watch it. And of course, the most important part is the anonymity. Being able to stay safe and anonymous when you're on the internet, whether you're at home or you're traveling across seas to a friend's house, to a public Starbucks or McDonald's, public Wi-Fi, wherever, have NordVPN so that people cannot get access to your data. It's just a good fail-safe to have. And when it costs less than a half a cup of coffee at Starbucks a month, it's not a big commitment. I do believe right now for a 2-year deal, plus 4 bonus months, all in, it's around $88, something like that. And it's going to last you, almost 2.5 years. And it's a great way to support us, the sponsor, and yourself. And you do not have to be a programmer. It is a click and go type thing. It works on your iPhone, your Android, your Mac, your PC, your laptop. I mean, it's virtually got an app for everything. They've been in the game for over 11 years. The best in the business, very high speed servers. When I'm on them, I can stream, I can game, I can stream and game all at the same time, as if I'm just using my regular IP on my internet, as if nothing happened. And with a 30-day money-back guarantee, you get your money back, no questions asked, if you don't like the service within 30 days. So go check it out. I know we're on the theme of supporting your favorite content creators. It's a great way to do it while also getting a good service for yourself as well. And that's it.
Boom, which means it's time to move on to
tech support. No, movies and TV.
We're going to get there soon enough. There's not too much to talk about here. But first, I want to give a shout out to the Iron Sheik who passed away this week. I'm actually surprised he made it to that age. And a wrestler from the 70s or 80s making it that deep. He was, I think, 81 years old. That's some shit. Most of those guys have long since, kicked the bucket many years previous. So shout outs to the Iron Sheik. Fuck Hulk Hogan right to the end. Good stuff. He was constantly in character. He was quite a Twitter account, constantly in character. I can't remember what it was, his last tweet. I think his last tweet was something about, I think it might have even been in regards to the fires, fuck the fires or some shit. He was just in all cap lock all the fucking time. Just dropping shit. So shout outs to Iron Sheik. What a run. In other news, and sort of hilarious news, Barbie, Mr. Black. That's a movie coming up, going toe-to-toe with that Oppenheimer, and shout outs to anyone who managed to get in to see the 70 mil version of that shit. That's gonna be fucking wild. There's one of the greatest posts I've seen online for this is somebody had pre-ordered their tickets to go see Oppenheimer, the 70 mil version, and when they looked at the seat map for what had already been purchased, there was one sole crazy motherfucker. You probably saw this, Jeff.
I did. Yeah.
One absolute mad lad. Front row center. Nobody's for 4 more rows behind him. He is sitting very front row, IMAX 70 mil, dead center. That nuke is gonna go off. He's gonna be blind, deaf. He's just gonna.
He's gonna die. He's gonna die from the nuke.
He's going out.
But he's going out with a bang. He's going out his way. He signed up for that shit. He knows what he's getting himself into.
Yeah, there were other seats available. This was not he just went for that one.
He's like,
it's a guy. It's a guy that did it.
Ain't no chick going and do that shit.
No.
Not a one. There's not one. This is a dude. He's
going by himself. It's one seat. Movie by yourself. Front row center.
He's hardcore. He wants to experience fucking Christopher Nolan's fucking
setting
atomic
off
bomb.
Actual bombs.
Yes. And he's there for it. He's gonna have a big fucking bucket of popcorn and the largest pop known to man, and he's gonna sit there sweaty as fuck, getting blown the fuck up, and he might not make it out, and he's okay with that. He's totally fine with that. He knows that there's a chance he might not make it out.
Bro, I laughed so hard at that picture. I just looked at it. I was like, that's some shit.
It's gangster as fuck. It's gangster as fuck.
That's a gangster move, man. You do that bro. Shit, that's gangster as fuck. But Barbie, anyway, that was where I was going with this. But
you know what would have been more gangster?
What's that?
Front row, but on the very end. So you gotta like kind of look to the side as well. That shit, that's the only more gangster that is. I mean, at least in the center, you're just kind of there and you're just like, you know, you're kind of like that.
My
but
God,
on the far end, you gotta be like,
bro, you better bring a neck pillow with your ass if you're sitting front row and that shit. Otherwise, you're gonna not be able to move your neck the next fucking day. You gotta bring one of those wraparound like plain neck pillows.
Adam, he ain't coming home, bro.
He's going
He's
raw.
not going there. He's not worrying about the neck. He's saying this is it for me. This is it.
What is it in IMAX? Is it 17,000 watts of audio or some shit? Is this some absolutely insane?
It's a lot. It's a lot of watts. It's a lot of watts.
And he's got that center channel.
Oh yeah,
just eating it. Just eating that center channel. Every piece of dialogue that is predominantly center channel, Cillian Murphy's voice is just gonna be shattering his face every time he fucking says a line in that movie. Holy fuck. And bro, imagine, you know how movies are fucking, like the dynamics are done for audio, especially Christopher Nolan movies? Where for some reason, dialogue, because everyone whispers, dialogue is gonna be like fucking just down
here.
You ain't
hearing shit.
And then as soon as a bomb goes off,
oh bro,
he might actually die. There's a non-zero chance he dies.
I wasn't joking. He might go out.
So shout outs to that Mad Lad. That Mad Lad. What a crazy guy. But yeah, Barbie, of course, very pink. The set of Barbie, extraordinarily pink. So pink that they used so much pink paint, it actually caused a shortage. People were literally unable to buy pink paint for a significant period of time because all of it was being used on the Barbie movie set to make that movie happen. I just thought that was some funny shit. I just thinking to myself, somebody's gone in, they got, we got a gender reveal, we're having a baby girl, time to go paint the room. Oh, let's do it the traditional pink, and there's no paint.
Thanks,
what
Barbie.
The fuck? Thanks, Barbie. Bro, I have a sneaking feeling that movie's gonna be absolutely fucking incredible for no reason at all.
And the main theme song's gonna be Aqua by Barbie Girl.
It better. Well, actually, it's not because they released the soundtrack for it, of which they did a lot of. Dude, you know who did the producing for it for this movie? Do you know who's the music producer?
No.
Mark. The guy who did Uptown Funk with Bruno Mars, Mark. Fucking yeah, bro. Oh, dude, the music's gonna be.
It's gonna be good.
Fucking good.
It's gonna be good.
Music.
That era too. Oh, it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
You know, Aqua's gonna be in that.
It better be in there.
If it's not, it loses 1 point right off the rip. Just automatically gone. So if it's an 8 out of 10, it's an auto 7. They will have that in there, guaranteed. And everybody
at least
in the
like
theater
5 seconds. Like it might even be one of those things where they're in the car and they press, like they turn on the radio and it's like they're going through the stations and Barbie Girl comes on for like 3 seconds so they don't have to pay for rights and then they immediately change it. Like or
it'll be the credit song.
That could also
one of the two.
Totally also be it. Yeah. No, dude, bro, that movie, I have a sneaking suspicion it's gonna be fucking fire. I just have a feeling. And you gotta give them props. They're going up against fucking Oppenheimer. People are literally buying both tickets same day, going from Oppenheimer into fucking Barbie or Barbie into Oppenheimer. I don't think anyone's brain was ever meant to be able to handle that kind of whiplash going from those two movies back to back. You know what? I bet I'm gonna put money on it. The motherfucker in Oppenheimer front row also booked Barbie. Calling it right now. Now he's got to be going to Barbie first because he's not leaving the fucking theater.
He's not leaving Oppenheimer. That movie's gonna be fire. I can't wait to go see that.
That movie's gonna be so good. I can just sense it. It's Christopher fucking Nolan, for God's sake. It's kind of like, what are you gonna do? In other news, Pixar, which used to put out certified bangers all the time, and everyone was like, "This is the greatest animation studio, North America's ever cranked out for 3D animation." Anyway. Unfortunately, going through another round of layoffs. I feel like Pixar's getting real close to just being closed down or eaten up by just like a general Disney thing. Some other branch of Disney, because they've gone through another pretty substantial round of layoffs there, including highest profile one, of course, for the sake of the story that many people would know. The employee who just so happened to save Toy Story 2 by having a backup copy at home when somebody accidentally, at Pixar's office, accidentally ran some shit that ended up deleting the master copy. So this is a relatively well-known story. Everyone was freaking the fuck out because back then, rendering that much video, woo, took some fucking time. And so when they accidentally deleted Toy Story 2 from their own friggin' server, everyone was freaking the fuck out like, oh shit, this is bad. This is real fucking, this is literally cataclysmic.
Whoops.
And as it turns out, this one employee just so happened to have brought home a hard drive with a copy because they were doing some work. And I think it was a one. I can't remember though. And they talked about
nice bonus.
Bro,
the bonus.
I thought it
must have been real.
I think there was. I might be imagining this, but I think there's an interview where they interviewed that employee where they were talking about the stress of getting that hard drive from home into the studio without anything happening. Yeah. Because it was that was it. That was the fucking show. Like this consumer fucking hard drive.
There's no way she just drove that shit in the office. They must have had some fucking people in fucking hazmat suits and fucking armored vehicles taking that bitch and driving that down and creating multiple copies ASAP.
So anyway, unfortunately, that employee was part of the layoff rounds this time around. And so, that was sad to see. It's just brutal, which means, if they're doing this, you know what's coming? Toy Story fucking 5, fucking Kung Fu Panda 7. They're going to be cranking out a bunch of fucking sequels or something because clearly they think that Pixar's not making enough money. And so they're going to probably dip themselves back into the same wells over and over and over again. But I think that Pixar is getting closer and closer. Disney's just going to swallow them up and shut the name down and just be fucking done with it. They've been getting closer and closer to that. But nevertheless, I'm sure they'll find jobs. All of them are extraordinarily talented people. I mean, Pixar is still pretty much peak in that regard. So good luck to them. And that's all I had for movie and TV news. I don't know if you have anything that cropped up.
No, I'm gonna go see Spider-Man.
Heard that's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see that. I think Saturday. Outside of that, I went to go see it on Sunday, but the theater was so fucking packed, and I had arrived like 7 minutes before the movie started, and I wanted to get food, and I hadn't eaten anything, so I was like, nah, I'll do this next week. So,
it's still nice. You go in like a Tuesday, like early in the day, and it's just dead.
It's dead. You just go in there, I get my IMAX seat, sit where I want to sit.
Front row.
I always sit on the lower deck, but at the very top in the middle. Because nobody can kick me from behind, because it's like a walkway there.
Yeah.
And there's usually nobody sitting in front of me. Nobody's it's just, I got my own little area. So that's where I like to go.
I still look too far up when I'm there. I used to, my old favorite was the row where you had the bar in front of you.
The bar? Yeah.
That was my favorite. But for a lot of movies, when they use full format, it was still making me look up too much. And so when I started, and a lot of people try and get that spot. So I honest to God, I'm in the second last or last row in IMAX now. Yeah, and I just look straight out in the middle of the fucking screen.
Yep, makes sense.
And you lose a little bit of the side audio. It's not quite as good as if you're obviously sitting dead center of the fucking at that bar, but it's more than good enough. Yeah. And then I'm not
you're comfortable at least. Yeah.
Like that mad lad in Oppenheimer. I don't think there was anything else. We haven't been watching anything really here to speak of. M is neck deep in Love is Blind Brazil right now. Just randomly. Yeah.
Did you watch the other one?
No, some of the girls at work were watching this, and so that's why she started watching it, because it's the
You still didn't watch the damn
cooler.
US one yet? Oh my fucking hell.
Well, no, sorry. I've watched the Love is Blind one. I've watched like 3/4 of it, but I never watched the rest of it just yet. Part of the problem is the only thing I'm watching right now is the NBA Finals. Nothing else is on my television when I have time to sit down. And M doesn't like that one because there are like 2 or 3 people in that show that she just fucking hates. She can't even, as soon as they get on screen, she's like, nah, I'm out of here.
I cannot do. I've tried, and I'm the king of shitty reality TV. All right.
But you can't do the foreign versions?
King and Queen. I cannot do the foreign versions. I just I don't want to read subtitles while I'm watching my reality TV. I can do it for like shows and movies, specifically like Asian shows, like, because usually the production is like really, really good.
Yeah.
And you almost forget you're reading subtitles. But when it comes to fucking like Brazilian love TV shows or Russian or fucking, I just can't do it, man. And then if I put on the dubs, like the English dubs, it sounds so weird. The actors aren't even really trying to act. It's like, how could you cheat on me? I don't know. Do you not love me? Yeah, I love you. Yeah, I love you too. Oh, okay. And there's like no emotion. It's just like, it's so bad. I can't do it.
I will say, anything out of Brazil is not that though. Because the Brazilians are like the Portuguese, it's unimaginable passion. Everyone exists at 11 at all times. There is no lead up. It's like within 5 seconds, they're either head over heels or they want to kill each other. And then when they meet each other, there's no like small kiss. They are tongue in stomach immediately. They're dry humping on national television. They don't give a fuck. They're just so passionate about everything, and like just so like the men are all so romantic, and you know they're like it's closer to like a Latin thing. So they don't give a fuck. They're out there crying and shit. Like North America, everyone's like stiff upper lip, fucking army type shit. Nobody wants to fucking like be passionate. And so you know yeah. So it is in that regard. But there have been other ones we've watched where it's like that, where I just can't watch it because it's just like it is like you described. But the Brazil ones, like we watched like a little bit of the Circle Brazil, for example, and stuff before. The Brazilians are fucking wild, man. They're a different set over there. They're rolling different.
I know the women are a different set. I'll tell you that.
Bro, it's crazy too because so many of them on the show, like the guys and the girls, you know, like their beauty standards there are different than they are here, obviously, but they're like super fucking high. Some of it's because plastic surgery is insanely popular over there in general, second only to I think South Korea now. But there was this one moment, like the 5 minutes I watched this episode with Em, she had it on her phone, we were eating dinner, and the girl was like, you know, I know I'm not, she was doing like an interview to just the camera, her and the camera, and she's like, I know I'm not like conventionally attractive or whatever, and she's like, I'm a little bit overweight, and I'm looking at her, I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? You were 100%, I mean, at least for our beauty standard, 100% conventionally attractive. Zero fucking, not even remotely overweight. Maybe for Brazil, definitely not for over here. And then the guy who was also super handsome dude was like, you know, I'm a little on the shorter side. I'm not all that good looking. And I was like, it's the average people in Brazil just like 14 out of 10? Like how, like these people?
Dude. When I was in Barcelona, I don't know if I said
Spain,
this.
Spain's another one, yeah.
Dude, everybody was sexy. I mean, there was dudes. I'm walking through here, and I'm like, you know, if you're walking around and you see a girl, right? Everybody knows, right? You do like, you kind of turn around. I was doing that for some dudes. Where I'm
like, goddamn.
I'm like, what the fuck is in the water out here? Everybody was fucking hot. Everybody. And it's like everybody's just got like the right amount of tan. It's like this like brown, like I don't fucking know, bro. They are just different over there. There is nobody overweight. The only overweight people I've ever seen were like tourists.
Yeah.
And you know they were tourists. Everybody is like healthy, fit, fucking like I don't know, the accent. Like everything, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I felt like I just did not feel like I belonged there at all. Like, my God.
I am not nearly attractive enough to be walking these streets.
It was crazy, dude. It's just some cultures, man, they're just different.
Amazing what happens when you take like 90% of the sugar out of the diet. What happens, eh? Isn't that impressive? It solves itself pretty quick. Yep. But, yeah, anyway. That's pretty funny. That's all I've got for that. And if that's it, then we've got to very quickly move. This is possibly going to be long. We only got to have a couple questions here. Then we got to spit out into some StarCraft. People are getting tech support. This is where the first comment is like, oh boy, it's longer than usual. It's going to be a good one. Where is my post? There it is. Refresh that. Open that bad boy up. Henry says, is it just me or Toronto drivers assholes? No, they're assholes.
Not as bad as Montreal, but they're, yeah.
No, but they're bad. And we get to see more of them here because so many of them moved here. So now we have a bunch of them here. And they're like, and our roads are kind of the kind of roads where it's not a city where everything's a grid. And so there's already, even if you live here, you can fuck up and like do some crazy, but then they're out of towners and they're asshole drivers and they don't know where they're fucking going or what they're doing. And so just like the sheer number of accidents in places I've never seen an accident ever in the city, like multiple car, and like it's just Ontario license plate, Ontario license plate, Ontario license plate. So no, it's not just you. They're asshole drivers and kind of terrible all at the same time. Let's see here. Blainer asks, what are your top 3 male and female actors? Actors and actresses,
male,
top 3.
Denzel Washington, number 1. Number 2, Leonardo DiCaprio. And number 3, I'm going to go with actors. I'm going to go Christoph Waltz.
Ooh, good choice.
Female. Angela Bassett. Michelle Yeoh. And oh, what's another queen I can throw up there? Damn. I know I'm forgetting somebody too. I'm gonna have to think about the third while you start going.
So for me, I'm gonna go with I have to have Leonardo DiCaprio in there. I think you'd have to almost be insane not to include him in that list. So Leonardo DiCaprio. I think I'm gonna throw Matt Damon in there as well. And just to keep it white so somebody can be mad at me, I'm going to say Michael Shannon is my third. Michael Shannon, like, I don't think he's the best actor of all time, but I think he's one of my favorite character actors. He doesn't have to be the guy that like runs the whole show, but you plug him in as a character and he just crushes it, especially if that character has to be angry.
Oh yeah.
There are very few actors that when they have to play an angry character, I'm watching it and I get you get the feeling like your hair on the back of your neck stands up because you're like fight or flight mode because you're like, I gotta fight this fucker. Very few actors get there. Michael Shannon angry. I think it's because he's actually just angry. I think that's his secret sauce, is I think he's just angry in general. But when his characters get angry, I get like, whoa, bro. Calm down. But very good character actor there. I think the first time I saw him that I really liked him was in Boardwalk Empire, which is a fire show in general. A lot of good actors and actresses in Boardwalk Empire. So that's I would say my 3 there. I would say in general, despite the fact that it's a shit show anyway, another one is Will Smith is a fucking ridiculously good actor.
Oh yeah,
he's very fucking good. Good comedy, good drama.
I just don't get his. For me, I just don't get it. I get much more excited for a Denzel movie than I do a Will Smith movie.
Yeah, M's the. Oh, it's 2 of me now. Hi guys. Welcome back.
I'm back.
M's the same way. M's a big Denzel fan.
Yeah. Oh, she got good taste. But yeah, no. And then I think for my third female actress, I'm gonna go ahead and put Jennifer Lawrence in there.
I was gonna say Jennifer Lawrence. So Jennifer Lawrence, and then let me just make sure. So like Jennifer Lawrence. It's fucking stupid because there really isn't. It's like what makes it difficult is there are.
Michelle Yeoh, man, she is fucking.
She's pretty fucking great. That's true.
Oh, she's amazing.
So like, I'll like I not to bite your list, but like I'll those two would be mine, and then I think my third that I always say and I've said on this podcast at least once before is Meryl Streep.
All right, yeah, I mean that's a safe bet.
I don't think Meryl Streep's ever done a bad movie in her entire life.
Yeah. I'm not like the thing is there isn't. I know it kind of sounds a little mean to say.
There's not a lot of female.
There's not a lot. Like stuff that I just like run out if I hear a female, like if there's a female actress that's part of something besides those three that I mentioned.
No,
I don't really run out to the theater to go watch. And usually, even with those three, they got to be part of sort of a bigger thing, so to speak, for me to like. But I hear Leonardo DiCaprio and Denzel Washington. I mean, I'm in. It actually just doesn't matter what it is. Like I'm in. No doubt about it.
Let's do one more, and we'll save the rest to try and squeak in during our StarCraft casting. This is such a random question. Okay. It's a random question, and on top of that, it's from the venerable pulsating ripe developing titties, who asks, imagine a genie appears and offers you guys this deal. He will give you $1 million if you agree to lose a finger. And for every additional finger you sacrifice, the amount doubles. So $2 million for the second finger, $4 million for the third finger, etc. You get to pick which finger to lose each time. The process is instant and painless. Well, thank God for that. How many fingers are you giving up?
Ooh. I'm giving up at least one. Probably getting rid of my right ring finger. I think you kind of need to have a pinky. Like I feel like a pinky's a pretty important fucking part of the operation of a hand. And then obviously a thumb. Your index finger is super important. And who wants to lose their middle finger? You know? I think the ring finger is like the safest. Because I could still, I could still turn shit. I rarely ever even use the ring finger when I'm opening things and shit like that. So, and I don't want to lose my left ring finger because that's where my wedding ring is. So that'd be weird. And then you said like it doubles for like the next one.
Yeah.
Like you get 2 million for another finger
for the next finger,
man.
And then 4 million for a third, and then 8 million for a fifth.
Well, do I have to do it all at once or can I do it over time? Because I feel like I'd get rid of one. I'd get rid of this one now for $1 million US. I'd put that money to work. And then as I got older, I would probably get rid of another one. I just don't know which one. Because 2 million more? Fuck. I mean, there are people out there to be like, all right, just get rid of one hand. Like just fucking just chop off the fingers of one hand. I'll just nub it around. But I think the ring finger on the right one for $1 million, painless, don't feel anything. How can you say no to that?
Honestly, I'll just put my wedding finger on my right hand instead of my left.
Makes sense.
I'll get rid of the pinky and the ring finger on my non-dominant left hand.
Yeah.
because
Yeah, you know what?
I can still do
Yeah.
I can still do everything I need with basically those
Yeah,
three.
you know what? I think you're right. I might have to steal that, Adam. Get rid of the left hand ring finger, and I'll just wear it on the right hand. You know, it's whatever. Because you want your dominant hand. You do want to have full motion.
You want everything.
Yeah, like even when you're getting a good stroke on, like you want to have all 5 fingers. It's gonna feel weird. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I can't get rid of the pinky though.
That
Yeah, I don't think I can get rid of the pinky. Maybe if I'm like old, like fuck it, get rid of it. 2 minutes.
You gotta keep it for the shocker. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink.
That's right. And on that note, that's the end of a Technical Alpha podcast. Time to go cast some StarCraft. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoyed yourselves. Hit the follow button if you're here on YouTube watching this live and you haven't already. Hit the like button as well. And just once again, if you're listening to our RSS feeds, you're somebody that occasionally pops in and watches it on YouTube. We're not reposting the videos because for some reason it's making monetization of these videos basically impossible. And so, yeah, we're just going to leave it as this, which means you'll get a notification for the live stream, but you won't get a notification for the VOD getting posted. Just assume it will be there. If it's a Thursday and we haven't announced that the podcast isn't happening, it's there. It's there. And it's in the podcast tab on the channel. They literally have a fucking whole tab for podcasts. It's there, off to the races. And you won't even see it in the videos. Like the videos tab, it just won't even be there. It's just in podcasts. Until we see you guys next week, thank you very much for stopping by. Next week should be interesting because I think by that time, the Summer Game Fest will be over. We're coming up on that. That starts, I think, tomorrow. We get the Microsoft event.
This weekend.
Yep, Stormgate as well. We got info for that. We've got the Microsoft event coming up, so we're going to see Starfield.
Starfield, yeah.
So we're going to have some shit to talk about next week. Until then, thank you very much. Stay safe. Have a great week. And peace.
Peace.